Oh my gosh, we are live. Good morning, everybody. I'm not 100%. Oh, you can hear me. Okay, good. Hey, good morning. Welcome to the Daily Whatever Show. I am Lawrence Winterman. I'm here with my kitty, Ripley. She is co-hosting with me this morning. Um, Dana, my lovely human co-host, will be along any moment, I am sure. She was texting, so I know she's awake. And we've got a special guest today. Cliff Schecter is joining us today, not on a Friday, not for Fucked Up Friday, just for a regular shits and giggles hangout kind of thing. So hang out here with me for a moment while I extemporaneize and we will wait for Dana to show up. Oh, here she is. Here she is. I will add her to the stage now. Good morning, my friend.
Hello, my friend Lawrence. How are you?
I am excellent. I am excellent. I am here with a kitty on my lap,
Oh,
and live and good to go. Live on time.
right. And me like 1 minute in, maybe 30 seconds late. I overslept a little and I woke up with crazy hair. So I've been trying to like I don't know what I did in my sleep last night, but it was like this big when I woke up.
Nice.
So it happens sometimes.
It happens sometimes.
Yeah, it
Hang on,
doesn't.
let me say something out loud. Cliff Schecter, I can see you there behind the scenes in the green room. We will bring you on screen in just a couple minutes. We're going to do our normal morning shtick, and then we will bring in Schecter.
A shtick and then a
A shtick and then a Schecter.
yeah, it's a good morning and a stick too
Right.
for my
Yes.
for
A
my little
dog
canine
treat.
friend here.
Perfect.
Um, Lawrence, we have kind of a big announcement that we have not yet made this week around our programming, and I think you know what I mean. And I thought
I
we should.
don't.
Yes, you do.
The
I
Monday
will.
Thursday thing. We kind of
Yes,
announced that.
we kind of have, but it starts tomorrow. So I feel
That's
like it's
true. I guess
it's
maybe the people should be aware.
right, and there's
You will
an
see something different tomorrow. I will not be on the screen tomorrow at all. I'm
that's
not
right,
even going to show up at the beginning
the
because
feminist
Thursdays are now.
takeover.
Yes.
Sorry,
What are you calling them?
I'm calling it fine feminist.
Fine feminists. Right.
And it can be said one of two ways, or probably a multitude of ways, but I hear it as either fine feminist, like, okay, you want
Yeah.
to try to insult me online by calling me a feminist? Fine. But the other way I hear it is, I'm fine, kind of
Yes.
fine.
You are
Um,
indeed fine, and you are also a feminist.
I
Um,
am. And
Explain to the people what your show is going to be about.
well, it is going to be a feminist takeover of the Daily Whatever show. And what I mean by that
Right.
is
Because I'm not sufficiently feminist. Is that what it
you
is?
are sufficiently feminist, you
Is
are
it my
not
penis that you
sufficiently
find so
femme.
repulsive?
Do I have to answer that question too? Damn.
Oh, you just saw our 47-year friendship break.
Oh, right there, the fracture happened. Um, this show, well, it's something I've always wanted to do and felt strongly about, but it is also in response to the cultural moment we are living in.
Mm.
Inspired by things like the New York Times running podcasts called Is Feminism Destroying the Workplace?
Right.
And Barry Weiss over
Answer
at
yes on page 11.
and and Barry Weiss and Turning Point sponsoring shows on CBS like Is Feminism Ruining the World? I'm
Answer
paraphrasing.
yes. Tune in at 11.
Sponsored by Bank of America, which I
Right.
still need to cancel my credit
For
card.
all your credit card needs, not you women. You're not allowed to have them anymore.
Right. Bank of America, the reason I'm such an active customer is feminism. You're welcome. You're welcome, but not for long. That card is going to get canceled. And so it's a dangerous place when people are asking those questions. I am all for discourse, and feminism is one of my favorite topics to dive into. But asking the question of, is the fact that we think women are like sentient, equal human beings in the world and under the law? That's not a question we want asked. And
Right.
so my hope with this show is to start nudging that Overton window we like to talk about so much, like ever so much further back toward the left, toward our side. And I will
Really,
be
I
doing,
mean, you're moving the window to the left, but like, you know, women are equal citizens who should have property and credit cards isn't really a leftist position. It's been pretty mainstream central politics.
yes.
You couldn't be more center than that across Western democracies
I
for
mean, I,
decades now.
you would think, but the language is out there and it is certainly not being exploited by our side of the political aisle. This is a very conservative point of view. Women should be in the home.
Yep.
Women should not have the right to vote. Repeal the 19th. That's a big movement I'm seeing. I'm not excited to see that, Lawrence. I'm not excited about it. My little feminist dog agrees. She's like, "What about my rights to vote for more treats?"
Right.
So I am planning to bring on a bunch of firebrand, I'm just going to keep using F words, firebrand feisty femmes onto the show to talk
That's
about all.
hot.
I know. And sometimes it will be political, but sometimes it'll be about dating and relationships. Sometimes it will be about parenting. Sometimes it may be about work. We're going to cover loads and loads of topics. And tomorrow,
Sometimes
I'm
it might be about how to lead a global rebellion against the
sometimes,
patriarchy.
other times, skincare.
Right.
HRT as
Right.
we age and menopause and perimenopause. But
Because,
sometimes
girl, if you can't overthrow the patriarchy while your skin looks like a total Korean
yes,
spa glow up, you're
yes.
missing out.
I think one thing I might talk about on the show actually is that every week it's like all the meta ad people are like, um, this is the one thing that Dana needs. And I assume other women are seeing this too. And this week, it's some sort of like lymphatic drainage tool. I have like, I'm not exaggerating, 15 or 20 different influencers between Facebook and Instagram being like covering half their faces and then being like, oh my God, look at the difference. I've drained all my lymph nodes. And of course, I watch it and I'm like, do I need one of those?
Of course.
I have
Yes.
not ordered
Because
it.
because we're programmed by capitalism to believe that.
And because I have bags under
And
my
what's
eyes.
happening on Mondays, Dana?
Yeah, well, let me first say one thing is that tomorrow for the first episode, Melissa Corrigan will be joining me.
We know her.
We
She's
know
great.
her, very dear friend of the show, very brilliant, feisty feminist. And we are going to be talking about the SAVE Act, which has not yet passed the Senate. It has passed the House. We are all fingers crossed. It seems to be unpopular in the Senate. It's been lingering, but it would effectively, it would do a lot of harm to, well, anyone who's changed their name, but that
Right. Literally every
exponentially
woman
is
in the
very
last
vivid.
many hundreds of years who's
Yes,
changed her name because she got
Lavinia.
married. Yeah.
79% of US women changed their names in 2023 when they got married. So we're going to dive into that conversation tomorrow. Now, Lawrence, what's happening on Mondays?
Nothing.
I heard you have a very special guest showing up.
Nothing. You took too long, so nothing. Monday is going to be the queer takeover of the Daily Whatever show. Dana will have the day off. This coming Monday, I will be joined by Aiden Wharton, who has been on the show before and is a great guy and generously volunteered to be my first guest. On Monday, it's just going to be he and I. We're going to, kind of do a little bit more of a deep dive kind of interview, just two queer dudes talking. As the weeks progress, I will have a variety of guests, and we'll probably get to the point where it's a bit more of a panel.
Yeah.
But for now, I'm just gonna have fun inviting some of the kind of the biggest and brightest queer voices on Substack to join
I
me
love it.
and talk about uh, what's going on in our political world. What is it like being a queer person in America in 2026? Not great.
What I was going to say, what is it like, Lawrence?
Right.
Let's get a sneak
Not great.
preview. Yeah, not the best. Not
Not
the
the
best at
best.
all.
Not so
I,
fun. Supreme Court could overturn our ability to get married and
right?
enjoy intimacy and all kinds of things here in the very near
Ugh,
future. It's not really fun. We're not
it is
not
not.
excited about it.
No. So yeah, my right to vote, your right to marry, all of us with our, I don't know, domestic terrorists. So during the Holocaust, obviously, we would have had the yellow stars, and you've joked that you'd be a Lucky Charm. What do we get for just being a domestic terrorist? Do we get like a
I
black X?
Yeah, maybe I don't know, maybe like a little
An
red
A,
bomb, maybe a little stick of dynamite.
right? Or just an A for Antifa? I don't know.
Oh, hang on. There's a douchebag on YouTube who I need to block.
Oh,
Uh,
what's he saying? Or
Queer Voices LMAO. Yeah, there you go. Haha. Delulu TV. Thank you for the name suggestion. That's what I'm going to call it. And now, goodbye forever.
I kind of like Delulu TV. Is that what you're really going to
Delulu
call?
TV is absolutely what I'm going to call it from now on. Yeah,
Perfect.
why not?
That was my
It's
next
kind of
question.
got the Desilu sort of thing going for it. It's like a callback to Lucille Ball and Desi
Yeah.
Arnaz. There's some TV history there.
Kids
Yeah,
like to talk about
delusional
Delulu.
is like the most gentle thing that I've been called in my life. So bring
Oh my
it.
God. Lawrence, I love it. You know what else I love? That we've got Cliff Schecter in the green room.
Oh my God. And he is waiting patiently.
I'm sure he's not. He's like, why are these people wasting
No, I
my
can
time?
see him in the little square grayed out. I can see him waiting patiently, pretending to yawn. You're a funny man, Cliff Schecter. Welcome to the show.
Oh, hey.
Cliff Schecter.
Hi,
welcome to
guys.
the
How are
show.
you?
Excellent, excellent. How are you, sir?
I think I'm, pretty good. Pretty good. This, I
You know what we're missing here, Cliff? The straight
Yes.
white guy perspective.
Yeah, that's what you guys are always missing. You need more white dudes to tell you how it is, and that's
Yeah.
what I'm here to do.
Yeah. So that's.
Although I did think maybe I was on for the queer perspective, but I was just told by somebody, LMAO, I guess there isn't a queer perspective, and I was mistaken this whole time.
Cliff, as
Right.
as the straight
Yeah,
white guy
yeah.
on the show, could you help explain feminism to me? That would be great.
I came on here to tell if we could just sort of have a long line of folks that can just come through here of various sort of nationalities and religions, whatever, and I'll tell them all the way it really is for them because that's my job in America. That would
Yeah.
that would be cool.
That'd be
Yeah. There you go.
fabulous. Yeah. I'm still trying to really understand if feminism is real and if it's doing harm in the workplace. Cliff,
Right.
what are your
And you need Barry Weiss to tell you.
Yeah,
I
very
couldn't
wise.
get her. We got you. So if you
tell me if I'm wrong about this too, but isn't Barry Weiss a lesbian? Am I correct in thinking that?
Oh yeah, no, you're not
Jewish
wrong.
lesbian.
Speaking of the
No, the Jewish part
intersectionality,
I knew, but the lesbian part I thought, but I didn't know. I mean, man, they being the right will never run out of just complete fucking sellouts willing to destroy anybody else like them as long as it puts a fucking nickel in their pocket.
you know
And
what?
no,
Let's play a
that's not
fun little
reference to the
game.
fact that she's Jewish, though I'm Jewish. So if I wanted to make that joke, I could. But
Right.
no.
we all
Let's play a fun little game here at the top. World War II gave us great words like Quisling and Vichy that mean very specific things, right? What are the terms that are going to come out of this current Trump era that will represent the traitorousness of the people among us as they happily, willingly overthrow American democracy for their own financial gain? What do you guys think?
I think it'll be Weiss up with you is one of them.
Nice. Because you can get all wifed up with Weiss.
I don't know German all that well, but I think that's a German name and may mean white, which
it means
does.
white in German. Absolutely.
I mean, that's perfect, isn't it?
Yeah.
So yeah, I think Weiss up with you might be one to come out of this.
Yeah. What about Miller?
like
There's got to be a Miller in there somewhere, right?
It's Miller time.
Well,
Right,
considering that beer, is not good. Let's put it that way. I shouldn't be mean to them, but let's call it not mass-produced American beer.
Right.
We mass-produced Nazis too, so that kind of goes well for Stephen Miller.
Yeah, there you go.
Sure.
I think if you have from now on after this, we'll just say if you have Heg's breath, it just means you're a drunken Christian nationalist who is ready to destroy everything. I don't know. I'm just coming up with all these. So
No,
if they're not
these are
funny, I
great.
apologize. I'm just making shit up as I go.
What about Cash Patel? What does it mean if you're Cash Patel?
Basically, we'll say if you're all cashed out, it means two things about you. One, it means you're a fucking Nazi, and two, it means that your eyes can't point in the same direction.
Right. Yeah,
Right.
not only are you a Nazi, though, you're a Nazi of color who seems absolutely unaware of the fact that you are selling out all of your own people.
And a Nazi of color who, if you've ever seen that image of him with like the cowboy hat and those boots on.
Oh my God, right.
Nazi of color with this like the self-awareness and sentience of like my chair. You know what I mean? Like I mean, and look at this chair. This chair is pretty fucked up. So
yeah,
I mean,
no. Yeah, that's actually about Kash Patel's skin tone. Speaking of skincare routines, Dana.
Yeah.
Or not, skin texture.
Okay, that's better. I was like, are we getting racist here? I don't know.
No. I'm sorry. Please forgive me for
don't cancel Lawrence. He's queer.
But the Kash Patel doesn't have the best skin, shall we say, in terms of overall skincare.
I think it also has to do with like having no idea how to do your job. I mean, surely like, you'll be at work and you'll be like, how's the new guy? And you'll be like, he's completely cached.
Yeah, there you go.
Like, or he's a complete cache. Yep. I'm not sure what the usage would be. And that just means like he got hired. We don't really know why. And he has no idea what he's doing.
Oh, I've got it. I've got one too, which I think from now on, instead of, there used to be a term, obviously, when something is like, someone, is a cash cow. And I think from now on, if you call it a cash cow, it just means you're a fascist pig.
Yeah. So, there you go. There you go.
I think there's that. But I think we're missing some other wonderful people.
Yeah.
I mean,
Dan Bongino is the suggestion from the audience.
Bongo Bongino.
Yeah, there you go. I think that's actually.
I think if you're a Bongo Bongino, to put it quite simply, you've just absolutely and positively lost your fucking mind. Like that guy, it's even hard to really get into this sort of. He's a fascist and all of that stuff, but I've told you that story about him before with me, right? Where and I'm not the only one he's done this to. I believe he did it to one of your earlier guests this week, Bob Seska. I believe he's done this to at least a couple of us where, back in the day when I was actively on Twitter, and I'm going to always call it that because that
we're all agreed that it's still Twitter.
Can go fuck himself, who changed the name of it. Who's in the Epstein files, of course, because, begging to go to the big parties, even though he said he wasn't, because he always tells the truth. Where was I?
I don't know.
I don't even fucking know where I was.
You were talking about Bongino doing something to you. And
so what he did was, this is, I always try to explain to people when he became the deputy there, I want to be like, this is the level of maturity and seriousness of our new deputy at the FBI.
Yeah.
He and I got in an argument over something. I don't remember. And I insulted him and he got really mad about it. So he insulted me, but then he blocked me. So he'd get the last word in. But I'd heard about him that he has burner accounts and he can't control himself, his rage. So he still has to know what you're saying. So I kept mocking him in every way I could think of. And then he unblocked me to insult me again and then blocked me again. And it was just like, I just started writing. I'm like, I know you're seeing this, you dumb fuck. Right. So why are you even pretending? Because you clearly do not even have the self-control to not look from a burner account. And if somebody busts through my door in the next 30 seconds, we'll all understand why.
Yeah, no, any one of us, I think, are expecting the Minnesota 4 treatment at any moment, right? Yeah. Where we're going to get arrested terrorists for having opinions or, being at the wrong protest.
I like that, Bob.
Believing in the gay agenda.
Yeah,
right.
I like that you're calling it, like, as we know, again, I'll be the person who's always annoying the shit out of everybody about messaging. You need to come up with ways that people can remember things. The Minnesota 4 is a great way of tapping into earlier iterations in places like Chicago and
the Central Park 5, right? Yep. Let's recall what happened there, folks.
You came up with that, Lawrence. Very well done, or whoever did, because again, we should.
I think I came up with
It
it.
was
I've been saying
Lawrence,
it for
yeah.
a couple days. I wrote it somewhere.
Yeah, you coined it, Lawrence.
I have no idea. I don't care really. I'm gonna claim that, whatever else, as far as I'm concerned, you came up with it, and it's
Nice.
good. And that's a good way to refer to them, because we need, the thing that we just. And I think Dana was saying that when I was still in the green room about Democrats and messaging and whatever, is we just don't take the time to come up with things that tap into history, pop culture, whatever, that are alliterative, that just, are easily evocative of imagery that we want to get across. Like for some reason, I don't, and that I can't fathom, because it's marketing 101.
Yeah.
Like, there should be a test before you enter Democratic leadership. Literally,
Right.
Right.
like a test. They should give you things, and if you can't come up with a message for them, you're out.
Right. Yes, absolutely. I will confess to the two of you here that it's actually because I'm lazy. I could say Cruz and Fort and Lundy and Lemon every time, but like that just doesn't roll off the tongue. Minnesota 4 is my way of just basically condensing it all into one coherent thought that doesn't require me to say their names every single
We're
time.
all lazy. That's the thing,
Yeah.
is that human beings are lazy. We need shortcuts for things like that. And it's how we remember things. So, that is exactly the way it should be said. And also, again, the problem becomes in our culture, our celebrity obsessed culture, is you hear people saying Don Lemon and the other people. And it's not Don Lemon and the other people. Don Lemon had his rights taken away, and it was horrible. So did 3 other actually breathing, legitimate human beings who should be treated the same way in that same sentence, including one who was running for office, which should set out all sorts of red flags for people.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to stop talking about it. And in fact, I even sent you an email before this. I'm not going to tell you yet, but people are just going to have to tune in. But I booked somebody freaking awesome for Amped Up Thursday, and we're going to have this very conversation. Somebody, let's just say, who they are, and they have a big presence in a big Substack, and is an expert on this kind of stuff, because we've got to be talking about the fact that, when we're winning elections in red parts of Texas by 14 points that we barely have come in within 20 points of before.
By 14 points, which is a 31-point swing from the last election. Yes.
Right. And Miami, where because of sort of going back to Batista and Castro and the whole history of Cuba, Cubans have an allegiance to the Republican Party, and it's frayed a bit over the years, but it took Donald Trump, I think, to completely destroy it. Because it's weird how you have an allegiance to a party and then you see your brother being deported, or your mom, or whoever it might be, people and we won the mayor's election in Miami, one of the few big cities that we could almost never. We had an impossible time winning mayor's elections, and we won by 20 points. I don't think we'd won one since the 90s.
It's been a long time. Dana and I, we grew up down there, and I remember the shift of Miami from Democratic to Republican. And
so they're looking at this right now, and I know Donald Trump's a complete fucking moron, but some of the other people in there, not the cabinet, they're all fucking morons too. But some of the actual appointed officials that aren't cabinet officials, who are there, who are evil and actually are smart people, which, or at least they're smart enough. It doesn't take a lot for them to know that if we, even if we don't message, which would be a goddamn shame, because we could have an FDR-like election if we do this right coming up. But even if we do, even if we were to screw it up somehow, we will still likely win the House back. We still will have a shot at the Senate and all of that. But the problem here is they know this. So they're demanding voter rolls in Minnesota. They're breaking in at Fulton County with, Tulsi Gabbard doing whatever the fuck she's doing down there, besides being a Russian spy, allegedly. We'll just throw that out there. This should be so obvious to anybody that, and they arrested a state Senate candidate so, I mean, if we are not thinking about the fact that if we think they're just going to let us go into an election and they're just going to cheat the way they normally do, which is in states where they have a Secretary of State like mine, they purge a few percent of the vote from minority populations, which is horrible enough. that you don't really get the accurate vote no matter what. But no, they realize that's not going to be enough. They're going to, I mean, anything from saying there's terrorists, attacking certain polling places and sending in ICE or whatever and shutting them down,
Right.
to arresting candidates, to
and Trump blatantly saying that we should nationalize elections.
Yep.
Yes.
There are about 15 jurisdictions where we should nationalize elections.
Yeah, I wonder
where those are.
Right. And let's not forget the SAVE Act is still sitting in the Senate.
Well, that's part of this, all of this too, right?
Yeah.
So I mean, if we're not having this conversation about everything we just mentioned and more, and then we're closing our eyes and pretending it's all going to work out okay. And sadly, it's not. It's not going to just work out okay. We need people from the national security realm, from the legal and judicial realm, from, frankly, perhaps ex-military realm. I mean, not that I ever, for the most part, want those, in a healthy democracy, you don't want military folks to be that involved.
Right.
We're in a break glass in case of emergency place here.
We really are.
We're there for sure.
A couple comments from the chat. One is Jason is suggesting that we need a drawing. He said we need an artist to do a graphic of the Minnesota Four styled like the Fantastic Four.
Oh, that's
and
a
I
great
said
idea.
Walter Ryan's daughter should draw it.
She should.
She's a great artist. That's an excellent idea.
It'd be amazing.
There's another one I can think of who just literally reached out to me yesterday, and we've talked about adding to one of our sections of our, who is a professional and brilliant and great. Doesn't mean Walter Ryan's daughter shouldn't do it. Maybe they both can, or maybe they can do different aspects. Maybe one of them can
gallery.
Maybe one of them can draw a Hitler-esque Bovino, which wouldn't be very hard. You just draw Bovino. I mean,
yeah, pretty much. And then Laura is asking, Cliff, you've teased this guest. Can you, we never even had you introduce yourself. So tell people where they can see this. I think most people here know who you are, but where and at what time and day can they?
All right, you're right. I should have, should be better about that.
No, we should have been better about that. You're just like an old friend joining the show, so we jumped right in.
Yeah, well, that's why these shows are fun. Like we just sort of chat. All right, hi, I'm Cliff Schecter. I'm your guest today. I've been alive for at least 50 years, which is really starting to hurt in various joints and muscles and whatever. I worked in democratic politics. Hey, did you know that I wrote a best-selling book, Lawrence?
I've heard. Is that it on the shelf behind you, Cliff?
I mean, that's Mickey Mantle behind me. I'm not responsible for him, but God, I wish I were. But yeah, look at that. The real McCain right there.
Wow. Yeah, no, that.
Yeah, I wrote that book and it's a bestseller and all I do is talk about it.
Okay.
So there's that. Okay. We'll get past that. And the last thing I did was I raised money for Democrats at this good ones. And I wrote ads for Biden and other people and kind of retired a little bit from that. And now I have a Substack where I'm lucky enough to have these two folks helping me, which, I started it and others joined, and it's called Blue Amp Media. And Lawrence is the COO. I'm not even sure what's your title, Dana. Lawrence, I blame Lawrence for not telling me what your title is.
Dana's the editorial director.
There you go.
We are. I'm co-opting Dana's many years of deep expertise in content and editing, and thinking strategically about how things fit together and should be published.
Oh, listen, all that I knew. I know it's not. This wasn't a question of. I mean, Dana's writing is phenomenal. That piece on Los Angeles was fantastic. Her editing is great. All of that. I just didn't know what exact title we had given. Because it could be just ruler of the world or something,
We're reserving things like Grand High Archon and Queen of All She Surveys. Like, there's got to be a bit of a career progression ladder,
Well, next she gets to move up to Director of Space Force. So
right.
That.
Yes.
So
yeah, although Bree Fram actually should be the Director of Space Force, but they kicked her out, so she's running for Congress instead.
But somebody, I guess I should answer as quickly as because of course we all just joked and went off on whatever, and somebody did ask a question, so I apologize for not answering that. Which is, I do a show called Amped Up. Get it, Blue Amp? We're very creative. On Wednesday and Thursday with David Schecter, who is a longtime friend, and you may remember used to have a show on MSNBC, a regular show, and he also filled in for Oberman and Chris Matthews in the 2000 aughts through the early 2000 teens. And has been on. He was also a anchor at CNN at one point and whatever. David and I co-host on Wednesday and Thursday, so we will be on today with Ahmed Baba, which
He's
should be
amazing.
awesome. I've been reading
Yeah.
his writing lately and really getting into. He's a terrific writer too.
Yeah.
It's at 2 p.m. Eastern to 3 p.m. Eastern every day. If you can't make it then, you can always watch it later on because we send it out in a newsletter. But that's today. And then tomorrow, the Thursday edition, 2 to 3 p.m. Eastern. It's always 2 to 3 p.m. Eastern. And we're going to have a show 2 to 3 p.m. Eastern pretty much every day on our YouTube and Substack.
That's a good segue. I was going to say, should we tell the people that we've actually got 3 new shows launching this week?
Yep, I think we should. I just I'll just finish and say, like, this is a top expert on voting and national security who is coming on Thursday. And the only reason I'm not giving you the name is because we've already gone back and forth via text, and this person has already said yes. But I want to wait till there's that 1,000% confirmation in an email, like, I'm there. So,
well, the minute you know, tell us, and we will help you amplify the show. Did you see what I did there? I'm good with words.
Yeah, very good.
You're a word person. Yeah.
I am a word nerd. That's why I'm here.
Yes.
Excited for that one.
So let's talk about the other shows then. So Blue Amp, we're trying to own the 2 p.m. Eastern time slot.
We own that
Substack.
shit. I'm just kidding. Go ahead.
Yeah. Yeah. So Monday we've got we had our first show, Counter Story Perspective with Melissa Corrigan. This Monday, you guys, Melissa was amazing. I think a lot of the chat here tuned in and watched Melissa. She had Tim Whitaker on, and they talked about Christian nationalism. And it was honestly one of the best, most honest conversations about that topic that I've ever heard. Like, I learned shit, as a Jewish guy growing up in this country. I mean, all 3 of us are Jewish. We all grew up in, Christian America.
We're part of the conspircy. Afterwards,
part of the conspiracy.
We're having a meeting of the Bilderbergers. So we should all hang around.
But I mean, there are things about, the kind of the inner workings of Christianity and the dynamics between the various sects of Christianity that I don't understand. As a 55-year-old man who grew up sort of soaking in this culture, I still don't understand it. And so it was fascinating to hear the 2 of them kind of unpack that and talk about it. So Mondays are going to be amazing with Melissa. Every Monday, she's going to rotate. So first Monday of the month is always going to be Moral Mondays, which is going to have something to do with kind of her experiences in evangelical Christianity in this country. I don't remember the topics. Sorry, Melissa, for every Monday, but Melissa is an incredibly well-rounded person who has a depth of knowledge in a variety of topics, and so. One of the Mondays, she's going to be talking to some of our LATAM contributors to talk about kind of what's happening in Venezuela. Now that story has dropped off the front page, what's actually going on in Caracas. So amazing stuff coming from Melissa.
Yep.
On Fridays, we've got Ellie Leonard, deep dive with Ellie Leonard, and she's going to basically be talking about her experiences as a citizen journalist, like digging into the Epstein files and kind of figuring out how things work and how to report on them and how to verify and how to leverage her skills. And she's going to be talking to people and really teaching people how to feel empowered about doing the same thing, that if they want to contribute to that fight I love the way she says it about creating an ending for the Epstein saga that brings justice to the survivors. Like, people can help do that. That's what Ellie's doing. Other people can help. And so she'll be doing that on Fridays at 2 p.m. And on Thursdays at 6 p.m., we have this show that we're not really sure what it is, and it's probably not going to do very well. But I don't know. Cliff, do you want to? Oh, sorry, it's your show.
Well, it's just like we're dragging in a couple folks off the street, just who are bored and feel like chatting a little bit, because we're interested to see, what their expertise might be, if they may want to drink on camera. Oh, no, wait, it's going to be me drinking on camera. Yeah. Oh, okay. I'm excited as hell about this show. This is Thursday. We don't know yet if we're starting this week or next week. We're having a discussion about that a little bit. And it is going to be called Tequila Talk. and I will be co-hosting it with Joe Walsh, who I just, as part of the promotion for this, I just found a couple of my old things I wrote about him over a decade ago. Went from bitter enemies to when he, saw, I mean, he's apologized for a lot of the things he said and did back then. I think he has said, he's said, I want to be honest, I was an asshole, which again, how many people that have come to our side from the right have said something like that and been that honest about, said, I was wrong, I was an asshole, I was whatever, but is still conservative on a number of issues. We disagree on some things, but we just have the best fucking time. We both curse constantly. We both love tequila. We both like to laugh. So it's going to be a show where we're going to drink some tequila. We're going to talk politics, but it's going to be that happy hour Thursday night show. And again, it will be either 6 or 7. I think we're saying 6 right now, Eastern, where we're gonna try to tell some political stories. We're going to talk about what's going on, absolutely, but it's going to be a show that's meant to help you end the week on a positive note.
Yes.
Jokes, laughing, enjoying ourselves. Plenty of other shows where both Joe and I, separately, and when he joins us on Blue Amp and I join him on his thing, get serious and angry. And I'm sure that will happen once in a while on this thing too. But the real main thrust of it is it's happy hour, have a drink. We talk about, about positive things. We laugh, come up with good stories. And Joe and I just are the two biggest idiots when we're together. So I think it'll be fun. I'm going to have a lot of fun. I think you all will have a blast. You want to see two guys sitting there drinking and laughing on air? This is your time.
Yeah.
Two very funny leaders in their field in politics, drinking and undoubtedly spilling the beans about all kinds of fun facts, past and present. That's going to be a treasure trove.
That's the thing. Get a drink or two in me, and
here I am with the words again for you.
Fuck some of these people that I have not said things about. I forewarn that there are people, and some of them are on our side, who I've seen exploit people who have exploited me when I was younger and whatever. And I've no fucks left to give. If they suck, they suck. And I'm going to be honest about it. And that's the atmosphere where I've had a tequila or two with Joe will be the atmosphere that will bring that out.
So, yes.
I love that. It's going to make me drink along starting at 3 p.m. out here in Seattle. And I'm okay with that. It's just, it does sound like a great time to just pull up and have right now I'm having my cup of tea with all of you, but I'll shift for tequila talk. Since I can't show up hungover for fucked up Fridays.
If you want to pretend, you can drink whatever you'd like. We just invite folks to feel comfortable to drink with us or whatever. And again,
it's going to be Bartles and James wine coolers for me.
Yeah.
By the way,
you're going to bring some Mad Dog, aren't you?
Right. Right. Yeah. I'm going to be sitting here with my 40. Yeah.
I'm not going to. Yeah, exactly. I'm not going to. And again, we're going to be sipping, hopefully tasty, I like it, tequila, and talking about what we like about it in between our stories and whatever. So, we're not going to just be sitting there doing shots, if that's what people are thinking. That's not what the point is. Will I get a little tipsy on there?
Although I have proposed that at the very top of the show, you guys need to do a shot to start everything off.
That's actually not a bad idea. And if it goes up for that, I will do that.
And a lime.
Sip after that. And we'll be a little bit, we'll be a little looser, a little whatever. But no, I'm not going to say about, you guys got to hear his story,
Every time Trump says
he says that now. Tune in Thursday to see if it's true.
I don't feel like that would be as good a show as being tipsy enough that you're telling stories and having fun and
absolutely.
Oh my God, tagline, Cliff. Tipsy enough for the truth.
Ooh,
I like that.
Tequila Thursdays.
I like it.
That's actually fucking brilliant. And if you'll let us steal that, I want
it.
Yeah.
You can have it. We have so many things to talk to you about. I want to get to the Blue Amp campaign, but I have 2 things to put in front of you guys that I want to hear your feedback on. One is I just saw on Substack and confirmed in the news, WAPO massive layoffs. Did you guys hear about this?
I heard it was coming.
I knew it was coming.
Surprised.
Announced about an hour ago, it looks like. Washington Post begins sweeping layoffs and cost cutting. And I think there's not a lot to say other than, but what I think is so interesting is here we have 3 independent journalists here in Substack. We have all 3 been yelling from the rooftops for months. This is the future of journalism right here.
Yep. I mean, look.
As we're talking, this comes in.
I'll
Yeah.
say I'll put it this way. Large corporate entities and billionaires in general should not be owning newspapers and having that kind of power.
Right.
Yeah.
We don't need to get into specifics, but
I-
I'll just say as a general rule, the only newspaper I've ever seen that didn't get worse when owned by a billionaire, and then he eventually sold it, was the Omaha World Herald or Herald World or
right.
whatever, owned by Warren Buffett, who
Yeah.
is actually a pretty liberal guy. I've done some work in the past for some foundations on women's health and
Yeah.
other stuff, PR stuff. And that's the only one I've seen. Every other outlet I've ever seen, once a billionaire gets involved, or a large corporation. And look, it's inevitable. You can't have 50. I mean, just go see the movie The Insider.
Right.
Yeah.
You can't have 57,000 conflicts of interest and honestly report on stuff.
No,
It's
you
just,
can't.
it's the stupidest that we allowed this to happen, is that we forgot all of the lessons of World War II, which is just.
I've got an announcement actually. I'm going to be teaching at Harvard this year, at Harvard Business School. It's a class on how not to buy a newspaper, a revered newspaper known for its truth telling, brand it with the tagline "Democracy dies in darkness,"
and then turn off the lights.
and then pull an endorsement of one of the presidential candidates in an election year and be surprised when 250,000 of your subscribers unsubscribe all at once. It's a revolutionary class.
Also, if you can, like, I'd say, not picking on anybody specific here, but obviously as a general principle, when for yourself as well as any, let's say, new man, woman, any relationship you may have in your life, you're better off if each of you, I'm talking about both here, try to remain more human than cyborg and keep more of the original parts that came with your body than add, parts that, and become more like RoboCop. That would be my sort of take on how you can look normal, or at least semi-normal and human, and not make everything we just said about what you're doing to newspapers and other stuff even seem worse, because you look like some concoction from the Terminator.
Yeah. There you go,
like Luther,
folks. That's Cliff's new class that he's teaching at Harvard Beauty School.
See?
Yeah.
See, also,
by the way, P.S. for the folks in the chat who thought I was serious about teaching at Harvard Business, I'm completely joking. It's like the most obvious case study in the world. Don't buy a thing and declare that it's going to be the beacon of truth and then prove within like 10 months that you lied.
It makes me angry because democracy dies in darkness is a gorgeous tagline.
A great tagline.
Well, it is. But you know what's happening? I mean, quite literally, there are people turning the lights out in their offices and leaving for the last time.
Yes.
As David Shipley did, the editor there of the opinion section, when they refused to run the Kamala endorsement, as did Karen Attiah, as did Ann Telness, whose name I may be mispronouncing, when they pulled one of her cartoons because it made fun of billionaires. I know they have it tough. And so, she's on Substack. Karen's on Substack. I don't know where David Shipley is, but hopefully enjoying life.
Probably here. Yeah.
We should go look for him. I haven't looked for him yet, but
in
if
fact,
he's here, we'd probably know it. I mean, he's a pretty big name.
In fact, another person who left, how did I not think of this? If we want to talk again, a reminder, folks, on Blue Amp Media, Amped Up with me and David Schecter, every Wednesday and Thursday, 2 p.m. to 3 p.m. Eastern. We had on Eugene Robinson a week ago.
Yeah.
Not former, you're always a Pulitzer Prize winner. Won a Pulitzer Prize. It didn't come from FIFA. He actually won it. And he left the Washington Post too, because he was very honest on our show and talked about, he didn't get personal. He didn't get what everybody just said. The changes were ludicrous. The editorial, once it came out where they said, we want to focus more on economic libertarianism in our editorials. And, and David Shipley left. Eugene Robinson, who's a brilliant writer and an important social voice and critic, was like, I'm out of here.
Right. What else can you do?
That's when I unsubscribed. I mean, I was part of that group because I'd stuck with them because they had been better. Right after the Hillary emails all over the front page, and Eric. I shouldn't blame him. I mean, it may have just been whatever. But no, fuck it. I don't care. Was it Eric Kornbluth, whatever the fuck his name is, Kornbluth, who wrote the story? What was it? FBI sees no connection between Trump and Russia a week before the election, and on to be like, you're right, there's no connection that I can see, besides every fucking connection imaginable.
Right.
Besides his campaign chair, his campaign manager, his having been over there for pageants and talking to Putin and begging Putin to help him, various members of his staff. I mean, like, are you the dumbest fucking dumb fuck?
Does anyone am I crazy? Does anyone remember the server in Trump Tower?
Yes,
its only
Alpha
job
Bank.
was pinging a server in Russia. Like,
went to Alpha Bank. I mean, that's the thing. Is like, we've seen this stuff happen in Minneapolis. We're like, no, you didn't see what you saw with your own eyes.
Right.
And that's horrific because it was violence. But it's not like this is the first time they've done this. Their whole Russia hoax, blah, blah, blah. And of course, all these newspapers that are owned by big corporate entities quote Trump saying Russia hoax. So some people believe it as if there weren't numerous convictions of people like Manafort and Gates. Manafort was literally sitting down with a Russian oligarch close to Putin and handing over their polling and going over where, let's say, in maybe Pennsylvania, Wisconsin, and places like that would be good places for them to put some of their resources. I mean, Gates, his deputy. I mean, there were so many connections to Russia. It was overwhelming. And then, of course, eventually, the head of the FBI in New York was arrested for working with Deripaska, who was an oligarch, in Russia. One of those oligarchs also supported George Santos. Shocker. And it goes so far beyond that. And so to write that article, to feel like you're confident enough at that moment with all that out there, I don't know if the Santos stuff was out there yet, but pretty much everything else I said was, and maybe not the head of the FBI guy too, but all this Trump campaign stuff to say no connection seen. Is you're either being paid off, somebody's holding a gun to your head, you're a careerist who doesn't give a shit, or you're the dumbest fucking person alive. Those are your choices. Right.
And Yanni in the chat mentioned Russia, if you're listening, release her emails, and then like a week later they released like her emails suddenly got exposed.
I think it was actually a couple hours later.
Oh my God, y'all are giving me painful flashbacks.
It's just, again, and the meeting they had in Trump Tower. And I mean, it goes on to have not seen any connections there. Honestly, if I ever meet him in person, I want to ask him if he's had a lobotomy, because I'm not really sure how anyone could look at any of that and write that piece. You can say, if you're a journalist, you need more sources to write the piece. Trump definitively working with Putin, although I'd argue there's probably enough there for that. But you know what? If you didn't want to write that piece, but to write that there was no connection, like what is wrong with you?
Doing so much harm in the world. It has done so much harm in the world. The aftermath of that is just staggering. One more point, and then we have to get to the Blue Amp promotion or initiative that's out there.
Yes.
Minneapolis has been nominated for a Nobel Peace Prize. Did you see that announcement? Like
no,
the entire city. The entire city of Minneapolis.
Wow.
They just announced that last night.
When you first said it, I thought it was going to end up being a Trump joke.
No, it is
because I just have never heard of that, but that is so deserved and amazing.
I think it was announced last night. I saw it last night. Let me Google and
That's
see.
like kicking sand in Trump's face.
That's
so
what
you
I
don't get
to
one.
ask.
The people you attacked get one. That's
what should we expect today? What's he gonna do?
Yeah, he's gonna freak out about. He's gonna do something. He's gonna threaten tariffs against the Nobel Peace Prize probably today.
Yeah. Yep. There you go.
Specifically, they were Minneapolis nominated for 2026 Nobel Peace Prize for nonviolent response to immigration enforcement for anti-ICE protests. That's why they were nominated.
You know what this means, Dana?
Yeah.
He's going to write a new letter to the Prime Minister of Norway.
Dear Jonas, I am really, really upset that you have nominated Minneapolis, which everyone knows is a stupid city in a very cold place, and they never voted for me. So how smart could they possibly be?
Oh my God, if he doesn't write the note, Lawrence, can we write the note and have you read it? Because
what I like most about this moment is Cliff pretending like he doesn't want to laugh at that.
No, what I was doing, first of all, I was laughing.
Oh my God, I'm weeping with laughter.
Hold on a
Dear
second. I've got,
Jonas.
I mean, honestly, like the thing that still gets me is that he wrote a letter to the Prime Minister of Norway, all the ways in which that is wrong, not understanding how the Nobel Committee works, but that he titled it Dear Jonas. Come on.
Dear Jonas, dear dude who doesn't work for the Nobel Committee.
Exactly.
Because it is not connected to the country it's in. And that's a hard thing to understand that the UN is in New York, but it's not part of America.
Right.
These are difficult concepts to kind of, NATO is in Brussels, but it's not actually part of Belgium.
The ICE guys in Minneapolis who tried to invade the Ecuadorian consulate there, not understanding that isn't technically,
right.
American soil. Yeah.
Just kind of like the ICE guys are in human suits, but not actually human.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, that. So I mean, before, by the way, I was trying to say to you, I was laughing, but I also was realizing I hadn't jumped in the chat yet. So I was jumping in for some reason. I think because of the email I went in through, it's not letting me in the one on YouTube, but on Substack, I'm able to say hello to everybody. So I like to say hi to people.
Yeah. Nice.
They're kind enough to be here and put up with listening to me. I should say hello.
Well,
absolutely.
In our last 10-ish minutes, let's talk about, Cliff, the letter,
open letter,
the letter that you wrote, the first open letter, and then kind of how at Blue Ant we turned that into a campaign.
You mean my letter about the Minnesota 4?
Yes, indeed.
An open letter to defend democracy and the First Amendment. I just put the link in the chat, y'all. This is a do not miss.
Yep.
Y'all can go to the link while Cliff brings it to life for us.
I will bring it to life. As I say hi to Lynn here, who said hello to me. Hi, Lynn. And if I missed other people, I apologize, but hello to you all. So, there have been, sadly, a dozen Rubicons crossed already of various sorts. I mean, he literally crossed the Rubicon, if you understand Caesar bringing the troops into the city, and they were never a democracy again, or a republic of any sort, democratic republic. And we brought our National Guard into cities. That was a Rubicon we crossed. But this was another one in terms of you don't arrest members of the press and you don't arrest people running for political office and organizing on campaigns. This was a direct assault on not only the First Amendment and free speech, but on our electoral system that ties directly into everything else we're talking about, from the SAVE Act to they're demanding the voter rolls, to their Fulton County, shenanigans and wanting to nationalize elections, and we shouldn't have elections, and all the things that I will be talking about Thursday at 2 p.m., folks, at Blue Ant Media. But honestly, that we have to be talking about, because Trump, the people that doubt that Trump will do things have not paid attention. And along the way, I love the various folks in corporate media have said, you're being hysterical. Roe versus Wade getting overturned.
Right.
Yep.
Yeah, that worked out well. Thanks, you dumb fucks.
Yeah.
So, for me, it was just too much. And so the idea was, and I talked to you about it at the time, Lawrence, as COO of Blue Ant Media, I just thought I want to write something, but I tend to write a little bit, let's call it a little bit of a gonzo style, and tend to incorporate some
Give you
insults.
more like Animal with a drum kit. Animal beat drums.
I write what to me, hopefully it's good writing, but I write what comes to my mind and what I want to say, and try to be creative with words, and try to come up with creative insults for bad people. Which the former punter, by the way, of the Vikings, the one who stood up for the LGBTQ community when they were trying to ban gay marriage. I had him on my show at one point, and I don't know why his name isn't coming to me.
Chris Cluey.
Yes, Chris Cluey. He's just a terrific guy. He called it creative insulting, or he said something like, don't worry, guys. They're not coming after your giant cock monster. They don't. I mean, it was so funny, the thing he wrote, that he got a gig at Deadspin writing for a while. And so, yes, I try to do all of that, but I didn't want to do that in this, because this needed to be of a different ilk, more serious, and addressed to other people on Substack and other people out there that understand what a Rubicon this is that was crossed, because they're going to do this before the election if we don't figure out a way to stop them. So I wrote this open letter. It was expanded upon. We have a list of demands in there. We have a list of some towards Republicans, which I'm sure Mike Johnson, while he's monitoring his kids' porn, will ignore, but a lot of them that were towards even our Democratic leadership, who we've got Democrats who are incredible right now. I just the other day heard Chris Van Hollen when they asked him, like, are you going to fund, ICE? He's like, let me be clear, and I'm paraphrasing. I won't give them a cent today. I won't give them a cent tomorrow. I won't give them a cent next year. I am never funding that organization as it currently is, unless it is completely changed. So it is basically an entirely different organization with full accountability, fully respecting constitutional rights and all this sort of stuff. I will never vote to fund them. And I'm like, yes, but that's not coming from Chuck Schumer. That's not coming from all. So we made some demands in there. We're hoping that anybody here who's, if you're on Substack, sign on. I mean, I'd love to have as many people sign on, as possible. And we want to encourage other people because we all need to come together on this. We're at a point now where independent media is big enough that we get a couple of bigger folks together with a lot of other people to make the breadth of that sort of those demands clear. We get picked up by corporate media. We get, people will see it, and we need people to see it. So that was the point of it, I don't like using the phrase anymore, this isn't normal, because nothing's been normal for a while.
It hasn't been normal for a long time.
It's not that this isn't normal. It's that this isn't the behavior of a country that is going to remain a democracy.
Right.
Well, we're already not really, we're let's call us a 50% democracy at best at this point. It's not going to ever
literally
again.
Experts on democracy have said that American democracy is in jeopardy and not long for this world if kept on the current trajectory. Like it's really
Freedom
it's
House
real.
That ranks all the different countries down, every year downgraded us massively.
Right.
To the point where I think they called us, there's like a term they have for it, which is sort of like, a troubled democracy, or it's like that's the one step before authoritarianism.
Yeah.
And if this stuff is not, if there's not the proper reaction to this stuff, then by anybody and everybody out there who has a voice, who has any expertise or doesn't have expertise in this, who cares about their democracy, then we're going to lose it. Yep. So that was my reasoning behind writing it.
Yeah. And the letter has kind of 5 very reasonable demands, things that, we're signing on to asking for. Everyone, please go read it. Please sign it. I promise we will eventually update the letter with all of the names that have currently come in. We've got something like, 250 people who have said that they want to co-sign it. We need to make a stand. We need to make a stand on this because, like Cliff said, many Rubicons have been crossed so far, but this is one of the most important in terms of really escalating the ability that they're trying to get away with to literally shut down the elections, get rid of the opposition, throw us in jail on any trumped up charge, pun intended.
Yes.
I just put in the link to the second letter. The first letter that I wrote was sort of our coming out of the gate, telling people where we were. This one is the second one that we would love people. So we'd love people to sign on to. So there it is in the chat.
And I put a link to the Google form just above that.
Right.
So people can. What I love about this is that it's so clear and actionable, Cliff, that like it's very easy to feel helpless. Like what impact can, our small but mighty community have? And I feel like that's the point of Blue Amp Media is to amplify. So if we can unite and amplify under a simple list of demands like this, and we can come forward with the hundreds of names I know that this will have. It already has, I think, a couple hundred, maybe more. This really does have the ability to make an impact and to start influencing our leaders to be accountable.
Yes, and we need
That's
to.
what we need.
I mean, there's so many pressure points, and they all have to be utilized. I mean, attorneys general and DAs, everybody should listen to what Larry Krasner said. God, I love him. About you break the law here, I don't care who you are. You ICE, you can, you can call yourself ICE, call yourself whatever. If you kidnap somebody and you don't identify who you are, cover your face to it, you're going to be arrested in Philadelphia. If you, like he came out and said that very in a very straightforward way. And what frustrates me is that we often we are not willing to take on Republicans where they are. We back away. We were the ones who have to be the adults. This isn't about that. This is about our democracy. If a few of these guys in states where we have attorneys general, where we have DAs, would arrest them.
Yep.
In cities with police chiefs appointed by Democratic mayors, and look, hopefully Republican ones too. I don't want them to be Democrats. It's just that most Republicans seem to be batshit insane. If they're, they need to be arrested, because there needs to be a thought in their mind before they do, they behave in any way that they could actually be arrested for committing an illegal act, of which they're committing many just by going out and not identifying who they are, covering their faces as so-called law enforcement. David Schuster just wrote a great piece for us at Blue Ant Media about the warrants they're using. They're not using proper judicial warrants, these administrative ones that an ICE commander can sign. I mean, wow. Can we have Gary Busey sign one? Like, we have a cartoon character sign one. And
Gary Busey.
That was a random actor who's insane I could come up with at that moment. My point is, there's a reason why it's supposed to be a judge if you're going to enter somebody's property, because they got there theoretically for a reason. Not always with our Supreme Court now, but at least you have some more hope. And these kinds of things, if we don't start doing this stuff, again, being nice doesn't stop them. We're assholes for freedom is what we are.
Yeah. Hey, as we're wrapping up, because we're at the top of the hour, can I read you to a headline that, courtesy of the chat, I just found?
Yes.
AP News. Ex-offices raided in France as prosecutors investigate child abuse images and deepfakes. NBC News. Paris prosecutors summon Elon Musk after raid on ex's French offices. Oh,
And
boy.
that was one of the things I was going to say. When I said the pressure points, there are NATO countries that can do things like this.
Yes.
So I have to say, j'habite en France, mes amis, je t'aime plus fort, mes amis. I honestly, I did live in France. I love that France is one of the 2 or 3 most functioning democracies right now. I would like others to join them, and that they did this to Musk because Musk has threatened these guys many times with his wealth and his ill-begotten wealth in many ways, and the rest, and they don't give a shit. And I love that they're standing up to him.
Yeah.
Same.
Yeah.
Lawrence,
did anyone
I'm so
else
glad
get
you
chills
said
a couple days ago when it was announced that XAI, his AI company, and SpaceX merged to become the world's most valuable company? Okay. A space company and an AI company are merging to become the world's most valuable company. What the actual fuck?
Right. I don't even know what that's about.
I don't know what it's about. I just know that like, again, and this would take a whole other show. And we'll do one of these things one time on Blue Amp or here if you guys, wherever. But I mean, people really need to understand the absolute fucking monopolistic nature, if they don't, of our current economy, how bad it is, how it's worse than during the Gilded Age, how honestly, the example I give that's the easiest one to understand, if you want to understand how corrupt corporate media is, that would be because 6 entities don't just, it's not like, the 6 entities just control cable channels. No, they control what you hear, what you see, what you read, games you play. They're in everything, these 6 companies. And everything else is like that too. And we were not, there was a time in the past where we broke up AT&T, further back where we broke up Standard Oil. We used to do these things instead. And Democrats paved some of the way for this, sadly. We have allowed this, and this has corrupted every part of our economy. So, they're just, I don't know what the deal is here, but should an AI and a space company be able to get together? Well, first of all, it should be done by NASA and not privately. So he shouldn't even have a space company. But then you add the other stuff in there. So now we're going to trust this guy with what, everything that AI can do, and the space company and Twitter.
It makes as much sense as Trump's Truth Social buying a Russian fusion company the week after a lead MIT scientist in fusion is assassinated outside his apartment.
Yeah,
right? Like
When did that happen? I missed
a
that.
couple weeks ago.
Oh God. There's so much news. It's like how to stay on top of it all. And speaking of messaging, I just did a quick search, and what got pulled to the top of my Google search results here about Elon. I have 5 sources. Only one, AP News, mentions that it's child abuse images and deep fakes. The rest are just mentioning rated. And Fox Business is one of the 5, and it says Elon Musk calls police raid on ex offices a political attack amid
Mhm.
French criminal probe. So it's already
of course,
casting
it
doubt.
always is politics, except for when you're convicted as a criminal, except for when you have to end up settling
Yeah.
a sexual assault charge with somebody who worked at a former worker at SpaceX, and when you have to settle things with unions because you locked workers in, and God knows what else he's done. And when you're Trump, and you actually are a convict, which we should, again, messaging wise, we should be referring to him as convicted felon Donald Trump every single time
Yes.
we talk about him,
Yeah.
and adjudicated rapist, and Pete Hegseth, who of course also settled a sexual assault charge. I don't know with Kristi Noem how she didn't go to prison for shooting a puppy in the head, but the things for committing that act, the harmful things I'd like to do to her, I would rather not say, because I
Right.
would probably suffer. I mean, when you harm cats and dogs,
I know.
Yeah.
You're
I
a
mean,
monster.
You're the
Thanks.
lowest form of human.
sociopathic. Oh God, I mean, they're just all the
Yeah.
lowest form of life,
Yeah.
and and that's why they're always going to cry politics, because they're together for a reason. They're a group of sociopathic, narcissistic, fucking criminals who don't have any respect for anybody else or anything else but what they want. And it looks like maybe in France, Elon Musk is going to pay some sort of a price. Let's hope.
Yep. And on that
All
note,
things rich.
we have run a couple minutes long. Cliff, thank you so much for being here this morning. Always great
pleasure.
having you on the show. You're welcome back anytime. We're not just saying that because technically you're my boss.
I can like make you have me on here.
Oh my
I
gosh.
suck at this. Like everybody's like, "Oh my God, Cliff's fucking terrible." I just be like, "Sorry, yeah, no."
Right. We've
Thank
got
you
some
for
comments
having-
on the chat. Oh God, please never have him back.
Don't let God. That guy's
Right.
such an asshole. I know I'm Whitey the Blue-Eyed Devil, but I'm a nice guy. Okay. I got that from George Carlin, by the way. Before anybody wants to, that was his.
Never trust a man who tells you he's a nice guy.
Ooh.
Tune in tomorrow for my feminist
That's
hot
actually
takes.
probably true. But no.
As
Let me
as
sign
true
off by
as
saying
never date a man with 2 first names.
that's
or
true.
a first name that's a verb.
Ooh.
These are all.
I've written an article about this. It's very.
I need to think about
tongue-in-cheek.
this because I haven't. I mean, I apologize. Apparently, that's unpopular on this show that I've never dated men. But I could figure out a way. Some of the lines that I used to know about. Not dating women for certain reasons. But then I'd probably be called sexist. And so, I think what I will just say is thank you to all of you for watching and participating. Thank you to you two guys for everything you do at Blue Amp. But more importantly, at this moment, thanks for having me on because it's always fun and I appreciate it.
Yeah.
So.
It was
I
our
love
pleasure.
having you here, Cliff.
You'll be shocked to learn that I'm late for a work meeting because we've run long. So I really got to go because
involved
I've
in
got
this work
work shit
meeting?
I've got to go do.
Yes. And
Am I
tune
involved in this work
tomorrow.
meeting or no?
I mean, you can be for a couple of minutes. I'm meeting with Erica to continue to train her how to do some of the things that I do.
We're like just talking about it on air.
Yeah, behind the scenes on air.
You didn't have to tell me what. I just wanted to make sure that I wasn't fucking up on scheduling wise because I do that here and there, folks.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Great. We're going to start talking work right here. So we should
All right,
go.
listen.
Bye, everybody.
We love
Thanks,
you.
Cliff.
Thank you. Have a great day. Fight hard,
Bye.
but also enjoy.
Yes.
care.
Bye, everyone. Love you, Mina. Bye. Bye.